Good evening, and welcome to the Fortean Slip Clusterfuck. I think that's what I'm going to call it from now on. Fortean Slip Clusterfuck.
It's a good name.
I like it. Tonight, special guest with Fred and I, coming all the way from Sleepy Time, Old Manville, USA, Steve Alcorn.
It's damn near an hour and a half after my bedtime.
Steve says to me earlier on tonight, and I want to note for the fans of the show, earlier this week, like, I asked Steve for a favor, and he's like, oh man, it's for the show, I'm all in. I'm like, cool, man, that's awesome. He's like, all hail the slip. I'm like, fuck, man, that's great. And then I'm like, tonight, I'm like,
all hail the slip.
Steve sends me a message. He's like, yeah, you know, if you want to do the news tonight. I'm like, well, I got some shit going on early, but, you know, Fred and I are recording tonight, and it'd be cool if you joined us, you know. And he's like, well, Marsha's not going to be home until 11. And I'm like, well, Fred and I will be recording around, like, 9 to 10. And Steve goes, I don't know. And I want to note, this is the same fucking guy when I met him. He'd be up until like 1, 2 in the morning and then get up at 6 to go to fucking work.
Insane.
I was never on time to work, but...
Oh, I remember you almost losing your fucking job.
One and done, man. I had one more point to go, and it would have been over.
Yeah, those were
then the love of a good woman straightened me out. So.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what it takes.
You pussy whipped fuck.
Sometimes.
Yep.
Hey, you're not pussy whipped unless you don't want to be pussy whipped. See, I want to be. So what would that be called?
I don't know.
Correct. I'm with you, good sir. I understand his code.
The code is really in the code is she sometimes listens to the show.
Bingo.
She did when we first started, but now she's like,
oh yeah, I got all that shit too. Like, yeah, at first all in. Now it's like, hey, do you listen to no?
It sounds like three idiots on a couch. Why would I want to listen to that?
Yeah, no shit, right?
Lovely.
She listens in on me reading the news once in a while, and some of the stories that we pick, just, you know, she's not all in with that shit. But
yeah, we do go a little bit off base there, but so we wanted to talk about the sex rituals or the mating rituals of cryptids or the creatures of the strange tonight. This is Fred's idea. I threw the ball to Fred.
Yep.
I gave him the ball. He's got the stick.
I got the stick. Now let's get it dirty.
He grabbed right a hold of it, and he was like, "Listen, I want to talk about Bigfoot junk."
Pretty much. Well, you know what? I have drawn a few Bigfoot necks, and while you do that, you can't help but think, like, you know, what's going on? Like, what are the courtships of a Bigfoot and a Bigfoot female, or like I've been reading lately or seeing online where they say like females go off into the woods, female humans that is, and they get nasty with a Bigfoot male, and apparently they like it and they go back for more.
I don't even want to know what to think of that. Like, I got to the end of Willow Creek, spoiler, and and I see the fucking naked bitch in the woods, okay? This naked, dirty bitch in the woods, first of all. And then, like, obviously something drags off the guy. The guy's gone, and then, like, the chick is, like, being taken away that was with him. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What is this?
Yep.
Like, fucking Bigfoot sex slaves? Like, but just sex slaves? I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Cue the porn music.
Yeah, no shit, right? Vivid Entertainment picks up where fucking Bobcat Goldthwait left off.
If you've seen the movie Willow Creek and then seen that woman at the end of the movie, is it any wonder why Bigfoot switched.
Switched her out? Yeah,
because
she was fucking rode hard and put away wet, brother.
That's right. So the new woman was a little bit, in my opinion, a little more attractive. So Bigfoot, hey.
Again, we don't know what Bigfoot's tastes are. Like, I mean, if he likes them petite and tiny, big and stout, or, hairy or rough, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's not the type of thing, Fred, that I personally think about.
Well, you know what I do, being a city boy. If I go out in the woods, the last thing I want is, relation stress between my wife and like a female Bigfoot that absconds with me into the woods. Like, how am I going to, explain that one? Again, though,
Fred, are you telling me that you want a relationship with a Bigfoot in the woods?
No, I don't, sir. No. But I am kind of curious about it, though, and it does make me think.
Well,
I guess it would have to make you think.
If you wanted to do a show on it, it obviously makes you think. But the thing that I think that the direction we wanted to go in more so than like Bigfoot. Which, because if you look at Bigfoot's a primate, so Bigfoot's probably going to fuck.
It's an easy one.
He's going to fuck like a primate. To some degree.
Kind of like us.
Thunderbird, which is another one I was talking about with you guys before the show. If the Thunderbird exists...
It's like a crossbreed.
Excuse me, Jesus. It's going to be much like a bird, so it's going to mate much like a bird.
Yep.
But the things that we were, or the routes that we wanted to go, were more towards like the Mothman, or I would say like the Chupacabra. If these creatures like, and I'm not talking the hairless goddamn fox, raccoon, dog, whatever the fuck it is that they keep catching, saying that they're Chupacabras. I'm talking the Chupacabra of legend, what we know of as the blood-sucking, lizard-like looking creature with spines and shit all over it. I think Fred does a pretty good rendition when he draws his little cartoon version.
The original, they said they were kind of like the size of a small bear and had a more robust build, and it was definitely I would almost say it's very similar to a primate, like a chimpanzee or a gorilla. Very, they describe it upright. It had kangaroo type limbs on the hind limbs, a big tail. I mean, that is kind of interesting. Like, I mean, would it even be interested in any kind of sexual hanky panky? Like, maybe its way of procreating is to just hold you down and poke an egg in the back of your cerebral cortex or something.
Right, maybe it's not even of this world. What the fuck do we know?
Right.
Like I was saying about the Mothman before the show, or even some other cryptids you could throw this on. Like, is it a biological creature? Does it have sex like a biological creature? Or is it this supernatural thing? Or is it like a fucking vampire where it bites you and you become a fucking Mothman? And then you prophesize the destruction of the human race? or a snowstorm, which was a story we did on the Fortean Slip once.
We did? Oh, yeah, we did.
We did a story where the Mothman predicted chaos from a snowstorm. It was a bullshit story.
Of course it was.
But
there is only one Mothman, right?
Well, we don't know. How do you know? Have you met the motherfucker?
Have not seen him yet.
But
that's the thing. It's always reported as
Fox
one
Mulder,
creature.
Who's no longer in his home state of X-Files, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I'm in a much more creepy state now, Ohio. So,
is that because pedophiles live on your street?
Oh, shit.
No. Well, there's pedophiles on every street, Chris.
Well, yeah.
Not just in Ohio.
Well,
no, that's dark.
Statistically
Sex
speaking,
offenders,
probably.
Anyway.
Speaking of
But
which,
no,
we're
we've
talking
only-
about sex,
we've-
and we're talking about creepy shit. So I'm like at my friend's house one time, and his girlfriend at the time, her daughter, had been molested by her ex-husband, her father. And so she was always going on the main sex offender website and looking, making sure he was all registered or where he was living and everything was up to date, so on and so forth. And she pops this up while I'm sitting there one day, and holy shit, didn't I see a bunch of motherfuckers that I knew? Like people that I would run into on a daily basis, people that I went to high school with. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was some pretty creepy shit. But yeah, so, but how do these creatures, procreate? Do they procreate? Are these supernatural beings? And that goes for pedophiles too. Are they infested with a demon? But and the obvious ones we would say the Thunderbird. I would even go like the Loch Ness monster or any type of sea monster would probably be like whatever it is, related
Yeah.
to. If it's like a plesiosaur or whatnot, some type of ancient aquatic. I don't know if they're considered dinosaurs or not, but it would probably mate like that. But
Yeah, I believe technically plesiosaurs were reptiles, but I'm not sure.
right,
I think so.
I'm not either.
Dropping mad science.
I'm no expert. Come to your own conclusions, people.
I don't.
So
Damn.
I tend to wonder, like with some of these ones, especially like the offshoot ones, like we were talking, Fred. How far down the rabbit hole do you go with that? Because most of these things seem really supernatural, not so much biological flesh and blood creatures, but supernatural. And they're not, not something like I personally don't see Mothman, and I could be totally wrong, but I don't see Mothman as this thing that's going around trying to hook up with Mrs. Mothman or Mothwoman, and make little baby moth people.
I agree with you on that one. Like creatures like the Mothman and oh god, what's that guy that the one I drew a couple times, Spring-Heeled Jack, who has like a spiritual, like you were saying, an almost mystical spiritual nature, like that. It's probably not even on their radar, but I mean,
like I would even equate like the Jersey Devil.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Which I saw something recently about the Jersey Devil too, where people were equating it with kangaroo escapes that had happened around the same time, I guess, as the sightings, and that it was just a it could have just have been a misidentification thing. And I don't know the validity of that, but I could see where the misidentification there might come into play.
Well, a couple yokels, in all respect, they've never seen an animal outside of a cow or a horse. They see a kangaroo and they get a quick glimpse, and then they're trying to retell that to somebody who's got to draw it or recreate it using, the words.
And we've all seen
using.
something quick in the woods. Steve,
I'm telling you, it had a head like a horse.
Steve's only heard things in the woods.
Yeah,
we've seen things in the woods.
Thunderbirds, yeah.
I think that Thunderbird that I heard was, having some sort of mating ritual at the time. But
it was the real deal.
It was making a lot of noise. That's all I know.
Maybe it got a good look at you and was interested.
A little excited.
It was sending you some symbols or some
symbols. No, you gonna play the drums?
Symbols. Wait, you don't have that word up there in Canada? Symbols.
Yeah, no, it was the way it came out at first.
Yeah, no, I got you. Like bang.
So
I don't know. As far as the Mothman and like the Jersey Devil, they're usually only sighted in certain locales, like Jersey.
Yeah.
Whatever. So you would have to think that it's either one creature or it is, like you said, a supernatural type thing. So there probably wouldn't be any mating ritual for those sorts of animals.
Right, and I don't know how to wrap my head around those creatures being like a biological flesh and blood. There's a population of these things running around, because it's so tight knit.
And you only see one at a time. Yeah. You never hear anybody saying, "I seen 2 Mothmen or 2 Jersey Devils or whatever,"
or a family of them. Yeah, right. Like you do with other more popular cryptids.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the stuff I guess could be attributed to, like we were saying, misidentification, so on and so forth. But I really, if these things are real, I have to tend more towards the supernatural, or it's an offshoot, one-off thing.
Yeah, or like a lot of people have said, like the Chupacabra, maybe the Mothman are extraterrestrial or something that has off-planet. And if that's the case, I mean, like maybe the only interest they have in us is like those aliens from, the Alien movie. They want to, Mothman will mouth fuck you, and that's all. And implant some eggs in your mouth, and away he goes. That
could be the way, But I tend to think if there's a race of beings that's coming to this planet, okay, and they want to destroy us, what's fucking stopping them? They traveled, light years across the galaxy. Obviously, they would be far more technologically advanced than us. What's stopping them from just wiping us off the face of the fucking planet? What is it? Like, that would be my question. If there are these beings that are alien, and they are so much more advanced than we are, then why is it, if they are aggressive, why is it that they have not attacked us?
Maybe they're just not interested in us. Maybe we're just like an ant to them. It doesn't matter if we're here or not.
But they want to stick things in our butt, Steve. Yeah. And that's kind of sexual.
There's well, that is sexual. They do love sticking things up people's asses.
They do, but maybe that's a term of endearment from where they come from, and we're just something's getting lost in translation.
It's like shaking your fucking hand. Hey, howdy!
That's right, yeah. Maybe if we shook their hand, they might be as traumatized as if, they invaded our ass. I don't know.
It's much like dogs sniffing each other's asses.
I'm going to butt fuck you with this probe because I just want to say
hi. How are you? I'm from the planet
good.
Xenu.
Now do me. Yeah. Lovely. Yeah.
Do me.
Yeah, they usually black out before that part. I just remember the probe coming and oh my god. Yeah.
All I can think of is that,
black out.
That's right.
That Kids in the Hall skit where they're the aliens and the guy says, well, we've been coming to Earth for all this time and sticking things in people's asses, and what we've come to realize is that a certain portion of them really like it.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out to the Canadians. Go Kids in the Hall.
I fucking used to love the Kids in the Hall. That was a great show.
They were great. And it was not just funny Canadians, but funny guys.
Yeah, it was good sketch comedy. But so I mean, I don't know how far we can go with this one. I mean, I love the idea of it, because like I would like to know, hey, is Bigfoot taking human female sex slaves, or what the fuck is going on there? If in fact that type of shit's going on, is Mothman a biological creature, or does Mothman just kind of exist? That type of thing. And I don't know. I myself can't wrap my head around the idea of like the Mothman, the Jersey Devil, like the Lizard Man, which is another one of those. It just seems like it's an offshoot.
It's funny how like they seem to not be taken as seriously as Bigfoot and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and
serious as Bigfoot is.
And a lot of, like Steve was saying, and Steve made a really good point, is that a lot of that stuff is very localized. You don't see a lot of it all over. Like, you don't see I don't hear Jersey Devil sightings in Maine.
And we talked about with the dogmen, like talking about the fact that they're probably just it could be a sighting of a Bigfoot.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Fred! Somebody the other day flipped the fuck out. They're not Bigfoot. Holy shit!
They're Dogfoots.
They're Dogfoots. Oh, damn.
There is no way.
Hey, Fred, while I have you here, Chris and I discussed Bigfoot with a tusk. We want Bigfoot with a tusk.
Yes.
Can you do that?
Oh, yeah. What, like Bigfoot with a, what do you mean, holding a tusk?
No, with walrus tusks, like a Bigfoot with like walrus tusks.
Coming out of his teeth?
We want a whole new cryptid.
Oh, yeah.
Based on Bigfoot with tusks.
Can we give him a tail, too?
Tusks. Oh, I think that's a given, but is it going to like be a prehensile tail, or is it going to be a tail to attract mates? Oh my God, we can go anywhere with this.
Maybe like a crop tail, like a dog. No, that wouldn't work out.
Crop tail. They cut it off at birth.
It could help with its arboreal brachiation or terrestrial brachiation, where they swoop through the trees, so the tail helps like a rudder.
That's very possible.
I'm trying to be a smart ass.
Yeah, you lost me at brachial.
Outside of Australopithecus, it's one of the few words I can pronounce. I get caught up on a few of the other ones.
But yeah,
what if Bigfoot had tusks? What would the sex be like then?
Well, that'd be neat. Like it'd be interesting.
Well, then the males would have to fight with the tusks.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And the larger the tusks, like a show of domination, like you'd like with.
I think
with
you should do a Bigfoot.
Like they'd have
with tusks and antlers. And I'm not talking like.
Oh yeah,
I'm not talking pussy. I'm not talking pussy fucking deer antlers. I'm talking full on moose antlers, like big motherfucking.
Or like those. What about those dead extinct English elk or Irish elk or Scottish elk or whatever they call them? They have like massive.
As long as they fuck people up, that's what we want on this Bigfoot.
Something so big that he can't even hold his fucking head up.
By the time you're done, I don't even want it to resemble a Bigfoot, Fred.
No, for sure. We got to throw some braids in there too, maybe. Yeah, and no Bigfoots.
Just make it look like a horse.
Just take the fucking hair right off it. Put scales.
Yeah, we could like have patchwork of scales and hairy shoulders and. We'll just call this a clusterfuck.
We'll just make it look like a chimera or chimera, however you pronounce that fucking goddamn thing.
Yeah, it's got the tail of a scorpion, the ass of a goat.
The ancient alien theorists will say ancient aliens had to have created this creature.
Mm-hmm.
It's way too fucked up. This is proof of genetic splicing. Fred's drawing.
Yep. Yep. This is an artistic rendition.
How would the Minotaur have sex? I mean, he's like half man, half horse or something.
Yeah, I saw one of those that movie with
I would have to go.
Danny McBride.
I would have to go. The Minotaur.
James Franco.
The Minotaur is a strictly doggy style.
In that movie, the Minotaur, in that movie with Danny McBride and James Franco, they have like a little squire guy with him, and they're going through the labyrinth, and he ends up getting anally raped by the Minotaur.
See,
and then Danny McBride's character
look at that. This
lops off the Minotaur's dick, and then he wears it on a necklace.
That's documented.
Does the Minotaur the Minotaur have a horse dick or a people dick?
Damn.
Because
he's
it's
not a horse.
Half.
He's
or
a
does he have
bull.
Both? Whatever. A bull dick then.
Yeah, a big bull dick with like a bone in it or something and a spur. All those nasty ones have spurs in their penises.
Sick fucks.
Like, or does he have both so that he could have sex with humans and fucking bulls? That's what I want to know.
Maybe he was designed to have sex with a woman with two vaginas.
He's like a super hermaphrodite or something.
Who knows? These are the questions we need answered.
That is another question, though.
Damn it! I come to this show for answers, and now I just have more questions.
The question is,
I'm thinking about cryptid dicks all night. Damn it!
Are some of these cryptids, both asexual or something?
Right.
Maybe they are. Maybe they can have sex with themselves and procreate that way.
That's a good point.
I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. I want to be completely honest with everybody. I hadn't really thought about it, and then Fred was like, "Let's do a show on this."
Yeah. It popped into my head while I was drawing. I still don't even know why. What was I don't even know what I was working on at the time. Probably nothing related. But I think about that all the time. Like I hear
Fred often thinks about cryptid sex.
I do. The Osterman incident where he was wrapped up in his what was it? What do you guys call those things? Sleeping bags.
Right.
And he was taken off, and I kept thinking, like, how does he know that he's a gift to his daughter? Maybe the big guy liked him. Maybe it was like those walruses that go off and fuck penguins. It's not about like procreating. It's just about getting your rocks off and dominating another species.
It could be.
That would have been an awkward day.
That's just fucked up. It's just all.
Yeah, well, an artist spends a lot of time.
No, not you thinking about that shit. Like everybody thinks about fucked up shit, Fred. I mean,
I'm not sure they think about that kind of fucked up shit, but
yeah.
Well,
only Fred.
You will be now.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we will.
Fuck is going on with those thoughts? Are they all like that up in Canada?
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting over here going, man, and I fucking asked this guy to do this show with me?
Yep. Actually, if memory serves me, I think it was I watched an episode something to do with duck mating rituals and the fact that the males are pretty much rapists and they have big spiked penises, and I think that's where it correlated to and I started thinking of the Mothman and all that stuff, and I'm like, man, that could be very, very painful.
That big spiked penises?
Yeah, and now I'm thinking about what you said, like if they're spiritual or like they're not tangible, like, well, then of course they wouldn't do that, or like if a creature did, then they're just messing with you.
Yeah.
And we get into those alien grays.
I don't know. I think the questions are gonna have to remain unanswered. Because we are a bunch of uninformed fucks.
Yeah, we should have done some research.
How do you research cryptid sex?
Yeah, how the fuck? I mean, seriously, how would you research that?
Well,
I don't think it shows up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Washington State knows a lot about cryptid sex. But
this has been episode 46 of the Fortean Slip. I think I'm calling it the clusterfuck for right now. It was the Daily Dose. Maybe it is the Daily Dose. I'm not sure. If you like this shit, hit the like button. If you don't, hit the thumbs down button. Leave a comment. Share it around. Subscribe. And have a wonderful day, people. Maybe if I get up early enough, Steve and I will do the news in the morning.
Maybe.
Or earlier today, because I'll be fuck it.